So Sam, welcome to the Financial Planner Life podcast. We're having some fun, aren't we?
We are, we're getting to know each other, yeah.
So Sam, you are the managing director there at New Leaf. How many advisors do you have in your network?
Across the piece, there's around 350.
So what are New Leaf doing to be able to support new people joining the profession?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that we do particularly well that I'm very proud of, which would be our mentoring program. Every single case goes past 3 people. The world's your oyster. Go for it. That is really the beauty of a network situation, is that the ARs, the appointed representatives, they have autonomy. Say, right, you're in the New Leaf Club, you're our family, you're our team, let's do everything, just for you guys, and let's not tell anyone about it. But actually, what I'm learning when I'm being dragged along is that we could help a lot more people, and a lot more people be successful if more people knew what we were doing.
So Sam, welcome to the Financial Planner Life podcast. How are you?
I'm good, really good, really good. Love it here.
We're having some fun, aren't we?
We are, we're getting to know each other, yeah. Love it.
So for those that don't know, we're here in London and we are filming the New Leaf podcast. It's a brand new podcast for your network to get out there and attract new advisors and basically let people have a little peek behind the curtain to see who's in the business and who's benefiting and being part of the partnership, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing stuff. So Sam, you are the managing director there at New Leaf, and you're also involved in the proposition for clients and the proposition for financial planners. So when we start there then, tell us a little bit about the New Leaf client offering. What did you do? What have you put together?
Yeah, good question. So it's really been a journey, actually. It's been a very long time of refinement and changing and adapting. There's been certain regulations come in along the journey that you've had to go back to basics, go back to the original kind of thought process behind things and bring them back to life, reinvigorate them. But effectively, what I look after is the entire proposition for financial planners, as you say, which is everything from the documents they might use, the way that they onboard clients, all the way through to eventually the end portfolio, the end investment that the client would be placed in. So it's very wide ranging. Very wide ranging. One thing I don't run any money. Not an investment manager. We believe that there's far more superior people out there to do that job over and above myself. But what I have been able to do over the years is develop a keen eye for kind of what works and what doesn't for financial advisors. I think some of them, when they come to New Leaf, they think it needs to be really complicated and mysterious and kind of hard to understand sometimes for clients. But in reality, what I have found over the years is the simple things done well are often the best. So putting it together brings a lot of research. So first of all, it's thinking about the people, the clients, thinking about, we call them client segments or target markets. So this is where you sit down as a business, and New Leaf has lots of different businesses on the IFA side. Up to probably 100 different kind of ways of working on that side. So what clients are they going to see? What markets are they going to fish in? Which types of clients are they going to attract? And then you have to try and marry up the things that are important for those clients. So a really easy way to think about it is people that are just, if you compare and contrast people that are just starting out, maybe putting away their first bit of money in their ISA or their pension for the very first time. So if you think about their needs, quite low complexity, understanding might be quite low. And if you contrast that with a high net worth client, sophisticated investor, has invested before in the past, maybe has buy-to-let portfolio, maybe has a few things going on. If you think about the service from an IFA and the product and the portfolio, they're not going to be the same for those people, are they? They're going to be vastly different. Now, they're two extremes. In actual fact, when you meet people and IFAs take on clients, there's actually a bit more nuance to it. You're not always seeing, the new starter or the high net worth individual. So building the proposition is about thinking of the types of clients that advisors would see and then matching them to both products, plans. Plan's the most important thing, the financial plan, of course, and then the portfolio.
How much of your time is spent listening to those financial planners that are actually part of your network, hearing their feedback and the wants and the needs and the changes that they think should be in place to be able to deliver a really outstanding client experience?
Yeah, so it's completely built from their feedback, effectively. So when you first start out, and this is going back a while now, probably 10 years ago, you have to kind of look at data and just go for it. We were very small then. We had a few advisors. We knew that what we were doing was quite labor intensive, quite manual. The initial feedback was, there must be a simpler way to do this. So over the years, as people join, New Leaf attracts new people, but also experienced advisors. They'll come over with their ideas, their fresh perspective. And there have been times over those years where we've made changes based on the feedback, like you say. So a lot of time is spent listening, and Dan, our CEO, does that as well with his meetings with ARs. We're often looking for feedback because at the end of the day, although in my past I have seen clients, I've done the job, and I think that's important to have at least done it a little bit to be able to, coach and train and educate people to do it. Our advisors are the ones that are out there. They're seeing the reactions to what the offering is and how it lands, your fee structures. How does that land? How does that sit? And so something that's happened in the last few years from feedback is advisors would often say to me that they're having trouble servicing lower value clients. It was difficult for them. They had maybe minimum fees in place, or the time constraints with seeing somebody. If you think about it, somebody with a small amount of money or somebody with a large amount of money, there's still some basic things that go into every single financial plan. You have to get to know the person in discovery. You have to complete the client record. You might have to write off to providers for information. So building a proposition that suits all of those people is high on the agenda. Advisors were definitely saying, look, we need to be able to service everyone we come across. And not to the detriment of their plan or way of working, taking someone on outside their target market, but just making sure that whoever they really sat down in front of, they had something in their toolbox that they could offer that adds value.
How many advisors do you have in your network?
So there's two answers to that. So across the piece, there's around 350. So that would be mortgage, protection, and IFA. The proposition that I've built is primarily for the IFAs, which is around 105.
Okay, great.
I say around because we've got people joining all the time.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so you're getting plenty of feedback. You're talking to a lot of IFAs who are out there, talking to clients. They're on the front line basically. But I expect you're probably getting inundated as well with all the tech companies and all the different bells and whistles and tools, all these wonderful things that are going to make their lives a million times easier. So I'm guessing you've seen a few beauty parades along the way. I can imagine you've probably got some tools that have been tried and tested, and you're probably thinking of your select tools that you would recommend. So which ones do you think are the ones that are adding value at the moment for financial advisors? What tools are you using?
Yeah, good question. So there's again two answers. I don't want to be that guy that says, there's two answers every time. But there's, for building a proposition, for researching the marketplace, and for building a robust, repeatable way of giving an advice, tools are very different to what you might use on your day-to-day. So the tools that I've used over the years and had great success with would be, first of all, something like Dynamic Planner. So Dynamic Planner really rationalizes the investment marketplace, applies ratings, badges, risk ratings. So that's kind of where you start your journey building a proposition. You need to have a universal agreed idea on the risk the client's going to take or needs to take for their investment. Something like De facto. So De facto Engage is a tool that will gather up all of the information about product providers, platforms, life companies. So they're really detailed tools that you need to really sit down with and use. Things like Platform Analyzer. When you're doing your due diligence and you're picking out which of the myriad companies am I going to choose to entrust our end clients' money with. There's lots of things there, things like Mabel Insights if you're looking at model portfolio providers. Lots of tools in that area that can help. And then on the advisor side, Dynamic Planner does do a dual job that works for advisors as well with their clients. We use the IntelliFlow back office CRM system to good effect. There's a lot of features there that help advisors with onboarding clients and also practice management. So, for example, the FCA is asking 5,000 firms about data about their clients, and if you're not using technology, how on earth are you going to do that? So we're pretty confident that that's all in the right place and we can run the reports. But on a day-to-day, I am seeing more advisors get involved with AI tools. So I've spoken to a good number of those guys. Some of them, I'm probably not their best friend because I can't always pick up a LinkedIn message. I do apologise. But from what I have seen, and there's a few that we've looked at pretty closely, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And what I did realise actually during this process is that you can't really assume that everyone has seen the same information you have. That seems really basic. But if I'm being bombarded by the AI tools and technology and news, it's in my nature to kind of assume that everyone else is. But sometimes when it's only through discussions with advisors, they say, oh, what does that do? Or I could really use that. Or I didn't know that was happening. So everyone's kind of getting on that journey at different time. But I think it can only be a good thing.
Yeah. I think it's massively confusing, AI. I think tech in general can be hugely confusing. You can go out and download the latest piece of tech, try and implement it. It doesn't work with your platform, it doesn't work with your CRM. Then something better comes out, that one gets out of date or it goes out of business. And all of a sudden you've got this quite expensive tech stack that doesn't talk to each other. And that's in any profession or any field.
Oh, that's universal, yeah.
Everyone's suffering with it. And I think, ultimately the basics, people are looking at how are you going to save me some time?
Yeah,
how are you going to get me in front of 30 more clients? I spoke to Saturn AI recently, and they worked out roughly on average they're freeing up enough time for an advisor to go out and add another 30 clients a year. And that's the sort of stat that I want to hear.
Yeah, I like that.
30 new clients, and when you work that out from a fee basis and what your average fee is, that's pretty impressive. And that's current. The key thing I think I'm coming across at the moment is the note-taking element of it.
Yeah.
Just how intuitive the note-taking element actually is, and saving time in that early stage, even crossing over in the paraplanning side of things as well. The paraplanners being able to very quickly access the data that they need, fill those forms out as quickly as they possibly can, and get those suitability reports back. And it does seem to be saving a huge amount of time, and there are a few AI companies out there at the moment that seem to be absolutely nailing that. And then you've got the compliance element coming in as well, which is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
What I find interesting as well around it is paraplanners. I don't think we're going to see like this idea that paraplanners are gone.
No chance.
I think you're going to get these paraplanners that are, able to manage multiple projects, right? But I think also freeing up their time to almost be client relationship managers. I think the idea of bringing these paraplanners into the meetings more, speaking to clients more, being a bit more face-to-face, being a bit more human, AI makes you more human, which I quite like.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes you focus on the human side. Because if your skill, if your talent, if what you do is replaceable, so if you're fantastic at taking notes from a meeting, if that was your role, if that was your job, you've got to pivot, you've got to move, you've got to adapt to what's coming, and I think use it as much as you can. You should lean into it, definitely. Paraplanners, you're right. One of the disconnects in our business is we have an internal paraplanning team, which acts as a compliance team as well. Every case with New Leaf is pre-approved, so all the advice is guaranteed from each advisor. But that has its challenges because there's that transmission from the advisor who was at the meeting, knows the client incredibly well, the relationship's been going for years, and how do they actually get that over to the paraplanner? Mm-hmm. We are definitely finding that transcripts or recordings of meetings are fantastic for that, because instead of a couple of notes, a lot of advisors will put their hands up about the quality of their notes pre-AI. They left a little bit to be desired if you're a paraplanner trying to pick up on the case. So exactly right what you say, that is helping. And I only really see positive things Only see positive things.
No, I only see positive things about it as well. I love AI. As soon as I started using an AI note taker, and actually weirdly, I was a late adopter to AI note takers. I was one of those people that, I'd be writing on my notepad. I'd have a pad of paper next to me with a pen. I'd be writing it on my laptop. It'd be like everywhere. I had notes everywhere. I'm scatterbrained. Now I just press this button on my, Fathom, takes my notes, records it as well. I can go in there and it will automatically, in whatever scenario that I want to recap that meeting, and then will automatically send it to that person. So let's say, for example, I'm sitting down with you and we're doing a pre-podcast chat. I get the opportunity to sit there, talk directly to you, really look at you, your body language, understand you, ask relevant questions, knowing that in the background, my note taker is preparing my podcast questions that will go out like that as soon as the call ends. So the person on the other end of the line is thinking, oh my God, like what did I cover? I wonder what this podcast is going to be about. I'm really nervous. And all of a sudden they get a whole outline of exactly what we covered and what the questions that I'm going to ask in that podcast episode, even some key takeaways for them to go away. So if they picked up on, they learned something from me on the conversation, it's a recap of what I've taught them.
Yeah.
And they love it. And I was just like, oh my God, how could I live? Why did I live without this? Because sometimes you're sitting there scribbling away, head down, you're not looking, you're not engaging, you don't know what the hell's going on, you're not picking up on cues. And for financial planners, you might be not picking up on vulnerabilities, which is really important.
That's a big deal. If it can help in any way, we're talking about post-meeting most of the time. That's the headline. Cut your post-meeting work down from an hour to 10 minutes, an hour to 5 minutes. People are looking at these time savings. But if it can help you with your skills in meetings, help you to, like you say, identify vulnerabilities, that's key on the FCA's radar now and probably forever. It should be on advisors' radars as well. It can only be a good thing. Yeah. It can only be a good thing. So, so for New Leaf, I think you said you're a little bit late to it, note-taking and stuff. I think New Leaf, to be fair, we're on the cusp of something really good with AI. We've taken our time. We haven't rushed in and, like you said, put too many disconnected things together. It's really about what problem are you trying to solve, and that's difficult because if you ask 10 advisors to line up, they might have 10 different problems. Some people don't, some people have got great, fantastic admin support, so it's not a problem for them. Yeah, they do the meetings, they hand it over, and then that magically gets through to paraplanning and it's done. Yeah.
Sometimes you can't move on LinkedIn for financial advisors arguing about investment propositions. What do you think advisors are looking for from an investment proposition?
Yeah, I think the people that come to New Leaf, and the reason they seek New Leaf out is because they want something sensible. They want something that's designed with the client in mind. I think broadly speaking, there's kind of two sides to it. You can either have a restricted offering, which does often deliver good outcomes that don't really see, it's not a massive deal, but what we find in general most advisors and clients look for is something that's independent. The issue sometimes with independence is the broadness of the proposition can be too wide ranging, in which case it's very difficult actually to channel down and narrow down what that client in particular needs. It's very difficult if you have too many relationships to actually manage them and nurture them to being strong relationships with providers. Things like platforms. If you use too many platforms, in my opinion, it becomes very difficult to manage. And there's some really good quality platforms out there that we're working with that on the whole do a good job for a lot of different types of clients. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes 100% sense. No, I love it. Great stuff. I know, look, Financial Planner Life, when I first set it up, it was all about attracting new talent to the profession. The higher purpose was, average age of an advisor, 56 years old, not enough younger people coming in. So I thought, in infinite wisdom, I'd set up a podcast, and the aim of it was to attract talent to the profession, right? Yeah. And we've done a good job at that. And in the process, we actually set up an academy, the Financial Planner Life Academy. It's like the first independent academy, if you like. Not IFA, but independent from all the other academies. It's like a pay-as-you-go sort of offering. I partnered up with the Next Gen Planners team. I don't know if you know those. Yeah. But they do a fantastic job of rolling that training out within the community, and each person will learn stuff from each other. I think we've got about 100 people going through it at the moment, which is kind of cool. But I know as a business, New Leaf are really getting behind new people joining the profession. And that's how I got talking to Mark originally, was that I got this academy, but where can I send them? after they've done their qualifications, because none of them have got CAS. And one of the biggest things, one of the biggest problems was like, well, how do you take a new person into an IFA world if they want to go self-employed and start off, because no one was willing to do the CAS status with them. So what are New Leaf doing to be able to support new people joining the profession?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that we do particularly well that I'm very proud of, which would be our mentoring program. So I think some of the challenges for brand new people is there's lots of information out there, but they maybe don't know what to trust. They possibly don't know who to ask. So when you join New Leaf and you're brand new, you get one single point of contact. They will then ask the wider team if it's outside of their remit, or they're probably more than capable of answering the question in the first place. So it's effectively a business partner to start with. And that doesn't have to be, financial planning, investment. It can be about thoughts, feelings, goals, that kind of thing. I think they're really important when you're starting out a business. Of course they are. If you've got no direction, how do you know where you're going? And the other thing that we're really proud of is the paraplanning department. It wouldn't be quite as cool to call it the compliance department, but they do act in that way. So they check every piece of advice that comes through. So when you're new, I think what a lot of people share with me is their fear is getting it wrong. They're taking on a client, and when you take on a client's finances, that's really, really important, isn't it? You can't get it wrong. You can't have a second chance. So some people that start in the industry, they do get scared about the advice they give. Is it right? They double check it, triple check it. So the good thing about working with New Leaf is that every case is pre-approved. Every single case goes through our paraplanning department. They work on it for you. They work on the research. They make sure all the documents are there. They produce what we call a second meeting pack, which is the suitability report, the sales aids, the illustrations, all the documents you need. And that process, that every single case goes past 3 people. So there's 3 people checking if something could be tweaked, something could be upgraded, something could be changed, something's not quite right. So I think the new guys really, they take comfort in that. And that team is a mix of youth and experience, just to make sure that we've got all angles covered. So I would say that those 2 things, the mentoring and the paraplanning, are the main things. And then, of course, what we were talking about, the proposition, is simple to understand. It's designed with the client in mind, and effectively it's guardrails. Okay, so it's not too prescriptive for each individual firm. You could have a different investment philosophy. You could have a different way of thinking about fee charging, different way of servicing clients. Some people see every client face to face. They want to spend a couple of hours. They want to do the cash flow tool. They want to do everything in that way. Other people are looking for more of a light touch relationship. Maybe they're doing things online. Maybe they're having a higher number of clients. We can accommodate all of those things. So I think if I was starting tomorrow and not had the experience and the things that I've done and been privileged to learn through the years, it would be a very daunting task to think, well, okay, so which platform do I use for my clients? Which investments do I put my clients in? When do I use an investment bond? When do I use a trust? Those kind of things. Whereas from day one, when you join New Leaf, you've effectively got a team of staff in your office. You're more than just yourself with your brand new logo and your nice website that's not had any hits yet, and your shiny laptop, that you just bought for your new business. You've got this team behind you. I think that's the most important thing.
I think as well, look, people when they set their own, when they make the choice that they want to go on their own, and they want to go self-employed, maybe like someone's transitioning from another career, they've had a fantastic career.
Yeah.
Maybe they've got a bit bored, but maybe they look at the career that they're in. And I've seen people come from investment banking and go into financial planning, go back into investment banking and start delivering financial planning to investment bankers of all people. You think they would know how to run their finances. But when you've got these people and they're looking at it, what they also get excited about is their personal brand. They get excited about building a business with their branding, and then I'm going to build a YouTube channel and I'm going to build my LinkedIn profile and I'm going to get out there. And I think bloody right. because you need to get out there, you need to promote yourself, and you need to be seen. But sometimes people might clip your wings a little bit when it comes to networks. Well, you have to have our branding for a start, and that's it. So let's say, for example, I come to you, I'm Sam Oakes, and I've got a brand called the Financial Planner Life, and I've given up on helping companies like you build brands. And now I want to be a financial planner. Can I come along and call myself the Financial Planner Life? Can I build my own company branding? Can I promote myself but still be IFA under the network?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the challenges are, is it taken on Company's House? Because a lot of people come up with very similar names. But apart from that, I mean, the world's your oyster. Go for it. That is really the beauty of a network situation, is that the ARs, the appointed representatives, they have autonomy in how they present themselves. Now, we've seen the good, the bad, and unfortunately sometimes the ugly of it, in terms of company names and things like this. Remember there was a little phase of people just picking Latin words or Greek words. Oh, Emmy's grandma's shoe. It's amazing. Let's go for it. That was a kind of weird one. And there's websites and you think, hang on, how does that translate? What's my email address going to be? Yeah. And there's a few weird things like that. So yeah, I think that's a great name. If you want to start that, Sam, I think that would go well. Nothing wrong with that at all. We lean into it. And actually what we're looking to do, when we find the right person to do it, is actually help with marketing.
Yeah,
and those kind of things.
Well, I know a person who can help you. So when it comes to the blueprint, okay, because Mark's told me about the blueprint, and so I'm a financial planner. So I'm a trainee financial planner, right? So I'm new to the profession. I haven't worked in it before. Fantastic. You've told me about all the paraplanning, administration, compliance. I'm IFA, all the platforms, tech. I don't have to worry about any of that. I can get stuck in and do my own brand. But I can have a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a little bit of nervousness about how do I get myself out there? How do I win business? What's the realities of being a financial planner, time expectations, how to generate clients? How do you go about supporting people like me in that respect?
One word for that really, which is community. Okay. So what we try to do, and what I think we've achieved, is to build a community of like-minded people, teams, individuals that we're striving for the same goal, aren't we? We all want to grow in business. We all want to do better. Some people's goals are different. They don't want to shoot the lights out. They just want a nice life for their family. Everybody's number is different, how they feel about where they need to get to in life. But we regularly will get these people in the same room. So one event that needs a much better marketing name is called the IFA Day.
IFA Day?
Yeah. It's been running under the draft heading IFA Day for about 10 years. And every other month, we will get a lot of our advisors along to a provider's office normally, and they're very gracious hosts and lay on, presentations and bite to eat and a few drinks and things like that. And I just think those kind of meetups, we'll regularly get 50 people to that, which is half of our advisor community. You can learn from your peers. If I'm saying something, it's because I've heard it from someone else. You might as well hear it from them. If you're worried about, for example, people ask me, if I put leaflets in the newspaper, what will be my conversion rate on financial planning? I say 0, and I can prove it because people have told me before. I remember a while ago, this is going back a while, there's a guy who's on the course and he was absolutely dead set. He's going to put leaflets in the paper because it worked for his previous business. So what was his previous business? It was cleaning ovens. Okay, so there was a leaflet in the paper, and at the bottom, if you called the number and said it's in the paper, you get money off. It didn't translate to financial advice. He put 40,000 leaflets in a local paper. He got one phone call, and it didn't go anywhere. So there is an aspect of you can help people along the journey and they can meet with our community. But also if you speak to people like myself, Dan or Mark, between us, there's a lot of experience, and people tell us, because we've got a good relationship with our advisors, they do tell us when things go wrong and maybe we can have a laugh about it. And I think you're starting halfway up the ladder, aren't you? If you're learning from other people that have been there before.
Love it. Your IFA Day. I love it.
Come on.
No, I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm looking about Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas Day, IFA Day.
Okay, yeah.
Men's Mental Health Day. You've got all these different days, right? Is there an IFA day? I think it's just about how you package it up. Now you've got your New Leaf podcast. You could have a New Leaf podcast live on IFA Day. You bring all these different people along, all these guest speakers, all these people that are going to absolutely blow their minds, celebrating IFA. Then you record it. Then you push that out on your YouTube. Maybe you push it out to the people that couldn't actually come. Maybe you push it out to your network of people that are interested in what New Leaf actually have got to offer, and they've shown some interest in the past, people who've applied for jobs, etc. I think it's a really, really good idea. I think if you get behind IFA Day and you actually pump it up, it's quite novel. I've not heard anybody talk about IFA Day. Why can't you be the first to actually push IFA Day, make a day for IFAs? Then all the other IFAs that are out there, you're not even part of your network, are actually going to be going, well, that's actually pretty cool. I wouldn't mind going along to IFA Day. And then it becomes an open community event.
Like it.
I think it's great. It's just how you look at these things, isn't it? It's like, you think actually that sounds a bit silly, but it's not at all.
No, yeah, you're exactly right in what you're saying, and this is the bigger picture, isn't it? I like to say, right, you're in the New Leaf Club, you're our family, you're our team. Let's do everything, just for you guys, and let's not tell anyone about it. But actually, what I'm learning when I'm being dragged along, is that we could help a lot more people, and a lot more people be successful if more people knew what we were doing, which is why we're here,
mate. You've got to give it away to attract it.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Like, the more you give it away, the more good stuff comes back to you. It's like laws of attraction. I know it sounds a bit cheesy and a little bit woo-woo, but I've experienced it. The more I open the doors and the more people come on. Like, I had a golf day. So we had St. James's Place there, Hoxton there, different IFAs in the same space.
Yeah.
Right? And then people are like, well, why are you all playing golf together? Well, why not? We're all sharing ideas. We're all talking about different things and what we can all do to help the profession actually grow for the greater good. And I think from doing that, people see that as collaboration, not competition. Collaboration is a good thing for everybody, but it also shows as a business that you actually give a shit, that you care about others. It doesn't matter if they're working for you or not, but you'll happily share some good ideas. A good idea is a good idea. And if it helps somebody, that's a great thing. But obviously, what do they remember? They go, well, remember that from New Leaf, or remember from the New Leaf podcast. So what you're doing is you're opening your doors now. And you're letting people in, and you're showing them a little bit about what you're doing. But you're going to sort of open the doors to others who will come to you and say, I got this idea. And they'll start to feel like they want to come to you and talk to you. And it's no longer a closed book. And you said it a second ago, it's all about like, it's my little community, I'm going to keep it. And that's the problem I think the profession's had. The profession has been quite sort of insular, if you like, not had the doors opened, and we're suffering by people not coming into it and actually seeing it as a viable career option. What we should be doing is opening the doors. A byproduct of you doing this today is that someone might find it when they're looking for a career within financial planning. A university might find it. You should send it to the universities. Say, look, we've got this podcast. We want to give back. If people are interested in a career in financial planning or don't have a clue what it actually is, get them to watch our podcast. Yeah. And all of a sudden, who do they think about when they think about IFA at that age? They think about you. Who are they? They're the next generation of people that are going to be inheriting money in that great international wealth transfer. So it's kind of it's a good thing when you think about it from a higher purpose, bigger picture perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a word I use a lot is members, New Leaf members. But you're right, it's kind of I'm acting a little bit like Trump, putting the walls up, putting the tariffs out there, a bit of protectionism.
That's it.
So exactly anyone's welcome.
Right. Well, in that case, then, what can advisors do? What can people who are interested in New Leaf do to make contact and to open conversations?
Yeah, well, something that we've run for many, many years, and it's actually my first interaction with New Leaf, is an event that we run called the Change Event. So the title suggests it's for people that are looking to change. So this can be second careerists, this can be people that are brand new to the industry, people that haven't even given it a thought. Maybe one of their loved ones is getting into the business and they just want to find out a bit more. Anyone at all that's looking to find out more about financial services. It's run by Mark Hobbs. It's now moved online. There will be occasional in-person ones, but we find the biggest reach is online. FAQs, Q&A, and Mark will share his experience, his vast experience and knowledge of starting and running and owning a successful business in financial services.
Fantastic. And how can people get involved in that event? Where can they find it? Is there a link I can put into the description?
Yeah, be straight on our website.
Yeah.
Straight on our website.
Change. Sam, great name, by the way. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you these last couple of days. Really been enjoying filming the New Leaf podcast. And I love the energy of you guys as well. You're a young network led by a great guy. Mark's a fantastic bloke.
Yeah.
You know, he's a really, really good mentor to have in the business. We're excited to be helping you, and we love your attitude towards open community and helping the profession grow as a whole. And obviously a byproduct of that is you're only going to attract great talent. Good, Sam. Thanks for your time.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Cheers.